as some of you know, we are going to start trying to conceive for baby number 2 in January. Eden's right here. She's like, baby, what? And I asked you guys if you'd be interested in hearing a little bit about the birth control that I used before Eden and the birth control that I use after Eden right now. A lot of you seem to be interested in it, so I'm going to share with you a little bit about my birth control experience. When I first got married, I decided to get on the pill, so I started taking Lutera. That is the green box of the birth control pills. And right away I noticed that I just like wasn't the same emotionally. It was like messing me up and it was like causing me frustration, but I really didn't educate myself enough to know that there were other choices. So I just held out on it and I was like, I'll just keep dealing with this misery so that I won't get pregnant. I think after a while I just kind of forgot about it, but I do have an upset stomach naturally already. Like I get really sick easily, so adding that pill on top of it just made me like nauseous and sick at the most random times. The negatives of the birth control pill was that I had a hard time remembering to take it at the same time every single day. Like that was tough for me because I have a hard time with routine and all that kind of stuff. For some people that like organization and doing the same things at the same time every single day, I could see it definitely working out for you. Also, if you don't deal with upset stomachs or, you know, I don't know, it's hard to tell because there's a lot of people I know that have been totally fine and then they've gotten on the pill and then they've been sick. So I think the pill definitely can throw you for a loop when it's got hormones in it. Then I got pregnant, surprise! And I was like, okay, well, those birth control pills didn't work very well. Had Eden and decided I did not want to go back to the pill for many reasons. One being the fact that it wasn't effective for me. Number 2 being the fact that I just felt like crap on it. And I was like, I just dealt with 9 months of pregnancy sickness. I don't want to deal with sickness after this. I started looking into hormone-free birth control. So my friend Holly told me about Paragard. Paragard is a copper IUD. They insert inside. It takes like 2 minutes. It's supposed to. It didn't take that long for me, but I'll tell you that in a second. Basically, you have no hormones. So you don't have all that sickness that the pill brings. And I wanted that. It was very important to me. But I was still a little hesitant about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Luckily for me, because of the fact that my whole deductible was paid for when I had Eden, I was able to get the Paragard inserted and my insurance completely covered it. I don't know how much it would be if you don't have insurance or if you haven't reached your deductible for the year. There might be a little bit of like an insertion fee or something. But for me, I was just like, this is perfect because I just had a baby. I got it in June, so I had Eden in April, so it was 2 months later. And I was just like, let's not have any surprise babies right now. Eden was a hard baby, so I'm like, let's just take our precautions. So I got on Paragard and immediately I just loved it. I would say the downside for Paragard for me has been the fact that my cramps have been worse during my period, and also my flow during my period is very, very heavy. Because I got that right after I had Eden, I'm not sure if that's just caused because of the fact that I've had a baby before, because I've heard that your cramps and periods can get worse. Or if it's just the fact that I have the copper IUD. When I look it up online, it's a common thing. So that's something honestly that I can endure. I'm like, I can take 3 days of that as opposed to every day being nauseous. So this IUD lasts 10 years. I got it in 2013, so I could literally keep it inside until 2023 and be okay. But recently my husband and I have decided that we want to have another baby. So we're going to be getting it removed in January. Because of the fact that we are switching over insurances, I'm not sure how much it's going to cost to get it removed or what. I may even like just remove it without saying I have insurance if that's a cheaper way. I have to do my research there. Like I said, I've had no complaints about it. It's been awesome for me and I would highly, highly, highly recommend it to anybody. I know there's natural family planning and some of you may feel, you know, wrong about birth control and taking like a pill. You might think like you're trying to take the place of God and like what he can do. And for us, we didn't have that personal conviction, and I have no problem with other people that have that conviction. But for us, it was just like, yes, God will bless us with a child when he wants to bless us with a child, obviously, because I got pregnant on birth control. So I knew, I was like, if God wants us to have another kid, he'll make it happen no matter what. I just wanted to be smart and safe and know that when the time was right for us and for our family, then we would start to leave it in God's hands, if that makes any sense at all. So the actual experience of getting it inserted, I told you I was gonna touch on this. So I went in 2 months after I had Eden, and they put this little, like, I don't know what they do. They put something in your cervix to kind of loosen it up before they stick the IUD in there, because it has to go up. It's like a T shape like this, It just kind of inserted. They were trying so hard to get my cervix to be dilated enough, and then they were like, did you have a C-section? And I said, yes. And they were like, how far did you get? Like, how far dilated did you get? And I was like, I didn't get past 3 or 4 centimeters. And they were like, oh, yeah, nobody told us that. Oops. I'm like, what the heck is that supposed to mean? I had to be like to work in an hour or something. I don't even remember what it was. And they ended up having to like stretch my cervix just to be able to insert it. And that was only for me and for my case because of the fact that labor did not progress naturally for me. So that kind of was painful, and I was kind of cramping throughout the day and spotting. But the next day I was totally fine, and I honestly didn't feel anything. I honestly forget it's there. Like, I don't even remember that I have it most days. And it's so freeing for me to not be sick and not have to worry and all that kind of stuff. So A+ for Paragard. I really enjoy it. So hopefully that answered any questions that you have. If you have any additional questions, please write them down in the comments box below. And if it's a little personal of a question and you don't want to ask here, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All my links are down in the description box below. Don't hesitate to ask me any questions. I don't care about too much information. Like, I'll share whatever I want to share when it comes to like my body, so I don't really care about that. Let me know what kind of birth control you guys are on, if you're on one. Tell me what your favorite thing about it is. I'll keep you updated about the removal process and how that goes in these next few months as we get ready to have baby number 2. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed this kind of video. Subscribe to these videos if you haven't yet. See you guys in our next video. Bye.
Hours. It's always frozen in this house, folks.
Anna was spirited and loving. Her heart was filled with warmth and hope.
What happens now that we've read our books?
Brush our teeth.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you guys are wondering if Eden brushes her teeth by herself, no, she doesn't. I just let her have it for the beginning so that she sucks all the toothpaste.